Hello friends, this is Nirmal for Technique, and today we are going to do the detailed review of the Swipe Konnect 5.0. It's an entry-level Android phone from the company Swipe. So we'll do the detailed review of this device with respect to its design, build, display, performance, battery life, and also the camera. So let's start off this review by going to the specs of the device. So it comes with a 5-inch display. It has a resolution of QHD, that's 960 by 540 pixels, almost the same resolution of the Moto E. Then it comes with 1.2 GHz quad-core processor coupled with 1 GB of RAM, and there is 8 GB internal storage. There's a 8 megapixel rear camera and a 2 megapixel front facing camera. So overall the device is pretty good, decently spec, and it has Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean out of the box. So now let's see the design and build quality of the device. So when you hold the device in hand for the first time, you get a feeling that it's pretty light in weight, and it's also pretty slim at this price point. You can see here it has a curved design towards the edges, making it feel pretty solid in hands, and it's easy to hold as well. The back cover comes with a matte finish and has the 8 megapixel camera. The camera unit is pretty big, and you can see it projects out, making the camera prone in case it falls down accidentally. And then you have the speakers at the back and the Konnect 5.0 logo. You also have the Swipe logo here. So on the front you have this 5-inch QHD display, which is actually pretty good. You can see the 2 megapixel front camera here. On the buttons you have the power button on the right side and the volume rocker keys on the left side. So that's with the keys, and at the bottom you have no slots, no openings, and you also have a small groove to open the back cover. On the top you have the micro USB charging slot and the 3.5mm audio jack. So that's up with the design and build quality. So overall the design is pretty decent for this entry-level smartphone. There isn't anything groundbreaking, but it's pretty easy to hold, and it's pretty lightweight as well. Even though it's a 5-inch device, it's pretty easy to hold, and the build quality overall is pretty decent and not bad with the fit and finish as well. So now coming on to the display, we already told this comes with a QHD display. Most of the entry-level smartphone in this price range has the WVGA display, which is really bad in terms of pixels. So this one has a pretty good amount of pixels. That's the QHD display. So you can see here the display is pretty good on this device, and it's actually viewable. So you can see the colors have really come good, and also the viewing angles. So you can see the viewing angles are pretty good, and the sunlight readability is also pretty decent. So overall the display on this device is pretty decent, and it does have good colors and also clarity with respect to contrast ratios as well. So overall this is a pretty decent device with respect to the display. Now moving on to the software and performance. This runs Android 4.2.2, that's the Jelly Bean version. Although its software is not the latest, it runs almost a core UI. So for Android it does not have any customization, and it's mostly the core UI. And the company has added quite a lot of useful apps like Kingsoft Office. Then you have FM radio, then a few other apps like video player is there, then swipe assist is there, then a few other apps also included in the phone. So that's pretty handy. So overall the performance is pretty good. I mean, there is no lag on this device whatsoever. So you can play games and you don't feel any lag, and the UI is also really responsive, and the front touch buttons have haptic feedback, which is again good. So you can disable it by disabling the vibration in your phone, but then this really provides great feedback, and it's pretty useful as well. So that's the display aspect. The software is really good, and there is no lag on the UI, and it works really well. And the notification center is just like any other Android phone. There isn't much to say on this aspect. It's very similar to what we have on other devices, with the same set of options you find on a MediaTek powered device. So that's with the software. Although the company has already said that 4.4 KitKat is being rolled out for this device, we are yet to get the update on our device. So probably it will be available in a couple of days. So once it is there, this phone does make really good sense, because it comes with Android KitKat. It has a pretty good resolution and display, and overall the design and fit and finish is also good. Now talking about the camera, the device comes with an 8 megapixel camera. That's the front camera, and there's also a 2 megapixel front facing camera. So the camera quality is pretty good for this device. You can see here, these are some of the shots taken using this camera, and it has come pretty decent. It's not a great camera in this price range, but it's not bad either. It's an average camera, and the colors have come pretty decently, and the quality is also good for this price. So if you take Moto E, which is priced around 7,000, and it's one of the highest selling phones in this price range, it has a really terrible camera. But when you come to Swipe Konnect 5.0, it has a pretty good camera. So you can see here the camera is pretty good on this device. We don't have much to complain on this. The UI of the camera is very similar to what we have on these MediaTek power devices. You have the three options. One is for photo, videos, and then the general settings. You have the option to record videos in 1080p as well. So that's a pretty handy option to have. So overall the camera is pretty good on this device, and for this price point we don't have too much to complain. The colors could have been better, but overall the quality is pretty decent for this price point. Now talking about the battery life, that's one of the probably the issues with this device. The battery life isn't that great on this device, but we expect this to improve with the Android KitKat update. Probably will be rolled out in couple of days time. So the company has already clarified that. So battery life is one of the biggest issues with this device. You rarely get 1 day of usage if you're an average to a medium user. It's really tough to get a day of usage, because the battery drains out pretty fast. So probably the KitKat update should change this and should give better battery life on this device. So summing up, this phone is priced around 8,500. It's a pretty good entry level device with Android 4.2.2 right now, and probably will get 4.4 KitKat later on. And it has a pretty good display, a decent camera, and a decent build quality, which is again good, which are some of the strong points of this device. So overall this phone is a pretty good entry level phone, and with pretty decent specs, decent design, and a good display and camera quality. So that's all guys with the Swipe Konnect 5.0 review. If you have any specific queries, drop a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with your queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to YouTube channel for more updates, and thanks for watching this video.